Before history was written, wisdom was remembered.
When the Matriarch speaks, time listens.
Alafia, peace and blessings, number 11 of Bruce Stone. How y'all doing tonight?
Thankful and grateful, thankful and grateful.
I say. OJ Yemi, I'm gonna give you the floor first so you can bring us in with a prayer because I know it's been a while since we've been on, so I want to go ahead and let you have the floor first and then we'll go on from there.
Okay, thank you. Faith in the spiral of life. It is suggested when you call forth when we use this prayer, you have a small candle or whatever size candle you choose to use, and you use a glass of water to sprinkle as we call forth the ancestors. I salute the enlightened divine feminine forces of nature, earth, water, fire, air, and ether. We call forth the enlightened ancient grandmothers. We call forth the enlightened ancestors who were healers, energy workers, prayer warriors, sustainers, keepers, generators, erectors, elders, weavers, builders, radiators, doers, providers, warriors, those who did what was necessary to maintain the bloodline, those who knew how to navigate through life regardless of the circumstances. Thank you for life. Thank you for your support. Thank you for your sacrifice, and thank you for all you survived. Thank you for all that you've done for your loved ones and bloodline. Hear us, O great ones, O ancient ones. We need access to your wisdom, your spiritual power to guide us. Please help us to navigate through life, through the day, through the night, through the hour. Break the cycle of inherited sickness, disease, affliction, trauma, curses, mental illness, depression, pain, and shame of family secrets. Please heal our wounds. Please heal our wounds. Protect our most vulnerable. Please heal and free us from unhealthy addictions and give us the willpower to gain mastery over the triggers of our unhealthy addictions. Please reveal to us the gifts in our bloodlines. Please reveal to us our purpose and destiny. Please reveal to us how to walk in righteous and good character. Please assist us with the courage, strength, and wisdom. Please assist us to restore the family value. Please assist us to restore value, worth, love, joy, happiness, inner understanding, empathy, radiant health, and generational wealth. Please assist us in our evolution. Please assist us in our immortality. Please give us the opportunity to serve and uplift our bloodline and community. Please don't leave us at the mercy of life. Ashe, 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 oh, toe, toe, toe. And that was given us by our elder Ifadunki Ole Yemi.
I say. Thank you for that, OJ Yemi.
Thank you.
We're just talking about sounds and symbolism tonight. Give some to the answers, I say. And with the sounds, we said earlier that we might want to bring it in with a tone. We always talk about tone, so let me see something. I say. You today, because earlier today you kept on saying, man, we're gonna get more and more to the age of we're gonna do less talking and more vibing. You know what I'm saying? Vibrations and tones. The last couple of weeks we spoke to the high priestess Mayat, and she taught us about tones and the 13, 20, and different tones of that nature. I hope we did I hope everybody did their research and studying in that, but it's helping us get into the frequency that we need to be in. So with no further ado, how you doing, Goddess Mayat?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. It's an honor to be here again. And thank you all for having me. Thank you, OJ Yemi, for all that you do. And definitely excited. I'm always excited. So,
Because you are the win.
Man,
No, thank you, and I appreciate you, High Priestess Maya, for all that you do, not only for your family but for community. And I just want to take my hat out to you as a sister who leads community. That takes a lot. No one has any idea what a sister goes through, but when she leads community, she gives a lot up.
Mm, mm.
Well, let's go ahead and get started tonight because I know we got a lot to talk about sounds and symbolism. And each one of us is bringing something different to the table. And one thing I respect a lot, I don't respect a lot of talking. I don't respect it like OJ even said, a lot of words is just words. When we use our words, we should use it for vibration to raise each other, to motivate each other. And one thing about it, High Priestess, you've actually went to these places. A lot of us can dream about going to these places. A lot of people watch these places on YouTube and all these other things. You've actually been to both Kemet and Teotihuacan?
Tepoztlan and Chalcazingo. I know I'm tearing the names up. Yes. Mm-hmm. Mexico.
When you went, now, so you've seen the pyramids in Mexico?
I have seen, not Palenque, not those, but they got them all over. But the ones that are not too far from Mexico City. They're about 2 hours away from Mexico City. Mm-hmm.
And I'm glad you said that they got them everywhere. They got way more. Now, are you saying when they're everywhere, are you saying that there's more pyramids in the Americas than there are in Egypt?
Well, that's what they say. Now I ain't counted them, but that's what they say, that we have more of them over here than they have on the continent.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but for the picture that I posted up for this live tonight, there was this beautiful young woman. Was that your daughter? There's this beautiful young woman that was up there beside that Olmec head. Do you know that woman?
Did he say, was that my daughter? Did he say that? You real funny.
Oh,
that was me.
Okay. You looking so okay. Now you've been to Mexico and you saw these great Olmec heads, and you saw all these. What energy did you feel when you were down there and you were beside these Olmec heads and you went to these temples, ancient temples, guys?
From the time that the plane started its decline, they start, telling you what 20 to 30 minutes in, that you're coming, they're starting their descent, and I started feeling energy right then. Once we started doing that, I started having conversations with folks, and I felt at home. Like it was interesting. I felt very comfortable there. Very comfortable. Now, I had gone to Mexico before. Like, I've been to Mexico before having this level of consciousness. I had gone to Puerto Vallarta, and what's the other one? That's not Cancun. It's the other one.
Cozumel?
No, Puerto Vallarta, and the other one. You know what? The Love Boat used to go to. The Love Boat used to go there. I forget where it was. Anyway, it'll come back. But I had gone to those two places as a tourist. And I'll tell you, the very first time I was there, I saw a Black Mexican. And I didn't understand it. And he kept saying, I said, where are you from? And he kept saying, I'm from here. And I was like, wait a minute. So wait a minute, your family came over here or whatever, and he was like, "No, I'm from here. My family has been here. Like we don't come from any place. We're indigenous to Mexico." And I did, but I remembered it to this day. And then, of course, once coming into a level of consciousness, no, it's not Cozumel. It's gonna come. It's
Was
gonna
it
come.
Acapulco?
Acapulco. Thank you.
You're welcome.
That's it. Yes. And so that was that was like the seed being planted.
Okay.
Okay. So that was then. That's when I was in another consciousness. In 2019, in March of 2019, before all COVID broke loose and all of that, I went and I stayed for about 6 weeks in a place called Tepoztlan. Now it's not really a tourist attraction. You got to know about it to be there. And it's a little small town. And immediately from the bus, when I got on the bus, like I couldn't of course I speak Ebonic Spanish. Okay. I don't speak no kind. My Spanish is horrible, so I didn't know. And I kept saying Tepoztlan, like I'm saying it now, which is not the way they say it. And anyway, there was this family in the waiting room, and it was interesting. He was a European looking Mexican man. And he said, "Where are you going?" And I told him, and he said, "Oh, okay, we're going there too." And, I got on, he said, "I'll tell you what to do." When we got on the bus, the bus was luxurious, right? So a lot of times people think that, Mexico is, what do they say? Don't drink the water and all of that stuff. Anyway, the bus was top notch. And the man, the first thing he did, he told me, he said, "Let me tell you where your people are." That's what he said to me. And I'm looking at this, what appears to be a white man, like he's crazy. And he said, "Okay, first you need to go to, you need to come back down here and go to the museum in Mexico City. And then not too far from Mexico City are these things." And then he told me everywhere, and he told me where the Olmecs heads were. Just off the bat. And then every place we went, especially when we went to the different mounds and things like that, the people, it was interesting. It was very similar to when I went to Egypt, and once I went past Cairo, once you start going south, the people, they're like, here's where your family is. Here are your roots. But this was Mexico, and they were telling me this.
I said
So yeah. Mm-hmm.
question, because we're gonna dig into all that as a symbolism. They saw you.
Okay. Sure.
Knows as symbolism, right? Now, but before we get that far, I want to ask you a duality question. You also went to Egypt. You also went to Kemet, right? And you went to the pyramids in Egypt, right? So when you went to Egypt, did you receive that same love?
Not in Cairo. So, Cairo is where they have the great, they call them the Great Pyramids. And that is primarily Arab. And they are, they don't like brown people and black people. And so, in Cairo, like even in the Cairo Museum, right? We had a scheduled tour. Now I went again. This was the beginning of my awakening when I went to Cairo. And how it happened is, some people have heard me tell my background. My background, I have a MBA, and I was working for Ernst & Young and all of that stuff. So I have fancy degrees from fancy schools. And anyway, the project that I was working on, the project manager was a he was a little bit older than me, a white male, and he and his mother, they took vacation every year on the continent. And so what they said is, they said, well, why don't we just shut down the whole project for 3 weeks and you guys just, go on vacation at the same time. And he said, well, if you want to go, I'm going to Egypt. I was like, what? So I jumped on with him. So I went on this luxury cruise and everything. So we get to Cairo, and what happened is they were very impressed with them, but with me, they were nice or whatever. I'm in Cairo. They were nice. But when I went to the museum, we had a structured thing. They take you on this tour. Like, have you all seen that one? There's a picture that they show, and it's a black man. He's sitting, and his wife is sitting next to him, and she's painted white. And that's the first thing they show you when you go on that tour. Okay. And they say, this is the old kingdom. And I remember looking at that and saying, something is not right. Because the old kingdom means this is the beginning. This is like starting with Narma. And they said, when we open up the tomb, this is what we saw. And so the first thing I thought, because I went to Howard, right? And I took a course in antiquities. And one of the things I learned from that class was, when somebody's painted white, they are an ancestor. So the first thing I thought was his wife dead? I mean, I know they when they did the sculpture, was she dead? Because she was white. Like, it wasn't a light skin, color or tan. It was a white person. And I said, she must have been dead, because why is there such a big difference between their colors? And that's the old kingdom. The old kingdom mean they found it all the way down towards the Sudan. Right. So anyway, that was my first thing. But they show you, they show the tourists this as soon as they come in. And then they literally even have in the museums, they have they'll have the hair, and the hair is obviously our hair. They have locks. Like I got a lock right here that I pulled out, just the end of it. I mean, it's a little curly, they had all these locks. And then they said, they literally have a note that says, this is not to be confused with Afro hair. Why do you have to put that? Why don't you just let people decide what the hair is? And then they even said their wigs, when they wore wigs, their wigs were wool. Okay. So, and they said, oh, it was just a style. So I'm sitting here like, y'all got to do a lot of explaining or whatever. Then I decided I wanted to go and walk through the museum myself. And when I tell you, them security guards found me so fast. Because what I did is I was trying to get away, and they were just like, no, ma'am, over here, whatever. And I said, well, I got to go to the bathroom. So I went to the bathroom, and I slipped past one of them, and I started walking through these other rooms. And they came and got me and made me get back on that tour, where they showed me, the stuff that they found in King Tut's tomb and everything. And it was really interesting, and it was very strange in Cairo. And then what they said to me too was like, well, you'll find what you need, or what you're looking for, you'll find in an Aswan, because we were going on the whole cruise, the Nile cruise, right?
Can you say that word again? You'll find
Aswan.
it.
Aswan. Yes. Maybe I'm saying it wrong. Okay. Okay. So, that cruise. So that means we're going south, right? So that's Cairo, and they were the Arab there are really very extremely racist. That was my experience. Now I don't know if it's still like that because we've had so many tours there and all of that stuff. That was in the early 2000s when I went. When I got to Luxor and when I got off that boat, man, the Nubians, when they saw me, they invite. We were in. I was invited in their house. This one little boy, he said, you have to meet my mother. You have to meet my mother. She has to see." So we went and ran, and we were in somebody's house, and they gave us Coca-Cola. We didn't drink it, but whatever. And so Luxor on down is us melanated people, and they were yelling at me everywhere I went. Welcome home, my sister, we the same thing, look, we the same thing, and it was interesting because I was the only Black person on the boat, and the some of the and I told you this is a luxury uppity type cruise or whatever, and then so some of the non-melanated folks, they were like, "Well, who are you? You a celebrity or something?" And I said, "No, I'm not." They are just
yes, you
welcoming
are.
home. Yes. So, anyway, I had a great experience. But Aswan, that museum is controlled as well.
And I asked that because you said a lot just through the symbolism, right? The symbolism of our hair, the symbolism. Even when you can't really say the word old. If you say old world or anything like that, they kind of messed up. Because when you go old, and I've been having these debates with all the brothers in the tribe when we say the word Black, right? But then what does the word Kemet mean?
Black.
It literally means more actually means Black navigators. You see what I'm saying? And like you say, the symbolism of the skin, the symbolism of the nose, the symbolism of the hair, the fact that they had to go in there and repaint a lot of different things, the fact that they had sculptures, different statues. The reason I'm so big in stones and artifacts is because some stuff they can't fake, and then other things they did. But when they faked it, it actually exposed them. The bust of Queen Nefertiti, the one that they showed, and the it's two completely different things.
Right.
One is fair with the missing eye. It's all artistic. She was beautiful with the top hat, and a lot of our women get it tattooed on them. A lot of our women wearing it and don't even realize that's the false image.
Yes.
The real one looks just like, what I'm saying. Well, I'm gonna be honest with you. The real ones, because people don't understand that Queen Nefertiti might not even be from Earth, as far as along with Akhenaten. And why do I say that? I say it because of the stones, the symbolism. She wasn't from here. They had knives crafted out of meteorites that they can't do in this time. They have that in the Egyptian museum, by the way. They had carved out of tektite, iron tektite, or iron meteorite. You can't. It's hard to do that now. So that means they didn't make it. It was gifted to them. You see what I'm saying? Just like here, way before the so-called Egyptians were there. And people working everything else, they don't want you to understand that so-called Egypt or Kemet has a lot of different dynasties where Egypt is the Hollywood of Africa. You know what I'm saying? Meanwhile, like Nubia, Kemet, Nubia, Kush, all those places have a lot of different artifacts as well too. But they have the different artifacts and stones that symbolize. Now, going back to the tones, did you hear any frequency? Did they allow you to do any frequencies of tones in those pyramids, or did you feel any frequencies?
I wasn't in the mindset that I'm in now. But I'll tell you that there were times like certain I remember the blue Ankh from I think it was King Tut's thing. Some of them I could now in hindsight looking at it, some of those things put me in a trance. So I was, I looked, they had it behind the cage, and it was, I remember it was a blue Ankh, and I was just like, whoa, like, and then they tapped me on the shoulder, and then I moved to the next thing. The large pyramid, the largest pyramid, that at the time they let you go down into it, but I was told not to go into it. So I stayed on the outside and I just touched it. And I lost time when I touched that, the big one. But I didn't go in. Because we had spent a whole day in the Valley of the Kings and the Valley of the Queens and all of that. And by the time we got to the large, we call it a Merkut, yeah, it was like, don't go in there.
I see. Now let's talk for your time. Let's I'm sorry. Would you say what you mean?
When High Priestess talked about the blue onks, I have a sister friend that actually makes blue onks. We did a ritual in Chicago where we put crystals in the earth because there was a lot of activity going on. So we put crystals, and she made these miniature small blue onks. And we placed them in the earth.
I say.
And that's something too. We're gonna get to that because I see that lapis lazuli on your neck as well.
Yeah, because it was like this. Yep.
Also, because a lot of people don't understand how close Florida is from Mexico, especially when you're talking about thousands of years ago. Florida's way bigger, as well as the Mexican coast is way bigger. Now you said, and tonight we're going to talk a lot about symbolism and why did these at least we can say brothers in the struggle. You know what I'm saying? They put our faces on these stones, all in Cambodia, all around the world. They put our faces in stones, and here you got the colonizer coming around telling you, well, that's not you. Why are we even listening to the colonizer? The same people that all the African Benin bronzes from West Africa and put it in the museums and try to rent it back to them and stole things from Thailand. We don't even talk about a lot of things. When we saw those Buddhist monks, I think we saw the Buddhist monks walking around in Atlanta. We talked about it earlier, right? And the thing about that is Abiki, she's really into let me say the exact Thailand. I think that's she's really into Tibetan. She's really into this deity that's called, oh man, she got I don't want to mispronounce the name, but it's called the Black God. That's what they call it.
Is it one of the Taras?
No, this is something. He almost reminds me of Bess.
Well, I think is that Callie?
No. When her break it down, because she's gonna be on the coming up coin show, but she saw this in one of her visions, and we started tapping into it. Now, of course, I'm all into the Mesoamerica thing. I'm like, yeah, man, I'm gonna represent the black gods, but then we the rest of the black gods, and we like gotta say they show us what they want to show us, because when certain things, you see certain things, it activates your mind. Likewise, I'm in Florida, so you might as well say I'm in a lot of these foreign countries. When you get their communities, they got little foreign countries within communities with communities. And one lady knew I was in the Stones, and he was like, "Yo, you in the Stones?" He told me he actually got the car. Now this car for me. He was like, "Yo, give me some stones. I'll do something for you." And this is Peruvian opal. This Peruvian opal. And the first thing he called, do you know what this is?
It's a dragon.
In hindsight, right? I'm over here looking at it like, yo, okay, why did you do this? It's dope. It's dope. I didn't do the studies on the symbolism. Like you said, I wasn't all the way where I'm at now back then. So it's Quetzalcoatl. It's also galactic and solar skywalkers. He is in ancient symbolism. They talk about our ancestors coming from solar and galactic places, just like the Dogon. The Dogon speak on the exact same thing. The Hopi tribe speaks on the exact same thing. So those are the connections. If you notice, when it comes to the indigenous peoples, more in common, and they show a lot more love than what the media puts out there. And the media is, of course, controlled by the Khazarians. And even though the Khazarians and other six ether beings act like they don't like each other, they're because after the treaties, they have nothing else in common. The Khazarians and the six ethers over there, yo. Big shout out to Iran too, because they over there they're putting butts of ass to Jerusalem right now. Or Israel, sorry, to Israel right now. You know what I'm saying? So, but when it comes to symbolism, we've always put things in certain locations or ley lines of the earth. Now, It's Quetzalcoatl. That represents a Kukulkan, Quetzalcoatl, whatever name we want to call him for whatever time frame. And I didn't know that until all these years later. I realized what he was saying. Somebody get to me this.
Yeah.
Racial tension, but it's only racial tension when you're talking to dummies. But somebody gifted me this. You know what I'm saying? All Latino people.
Right.
And these are all jade pieces or different kind of pieces where they're like, yo, this is who you are to our people. And I'm like, what are y'all talking about? So most indigenous people, all their gods are black. Black gods. I know Attic, but that's what they call their gods, the black gods. Mahakala. Right. I believe that's the one Biki is really into. There's so many of them to talk about. But going back to Mexico, even when you were talking about, we don't even have to talk about the stones. We can talk about, and tonight I'm going to tap into it. We can talk about certain statues that they left.
Yeah.
Shout out Goddess Harriet. She endorsed me to go buy her some statues. To get some statues. Hopefully she's not mad about me showing these. Now, the statue and OJ Yemi, she's gotten in this, and a lot of the brothers in the tribe have gotten into this. We get these little statues, and we don't understand the wealth and everything else. They take our statues, hide them, or they'll even buy them just to destroy them. So when we see things like this, we got to get it. Where is the statue from, guys? What do you think the statue from?
I'm not sure.
Oh,
where's it from?
It has words right there.
Wow, look at that. Okay, that makes sense. Okay.
The funny thing about this, we can say, oh man, anybody made this, except for it's also signed. And the funny thing about it is, it's signed on some real McCoy energy, right? It might be on the other one. Let me show you the goddess. It's fine.
So while you're doing it, you talked about galactic and solar. We just left the galactic tone, the galactic moon, and now we're in the solar moon.
I see.
The ninth moon.
Now, yo, the reason I'm showing, and what does that mean? First off, before we go on, what does that mean, guys?
High Priestess, do you want to answer that?
Oh, I thought he was asking me. Asking you. Yeah.
You gotta break it down.
So there are 13 moons, right? And excuse me, there are 20 moons. No, 13 moons. I'm sorry, I'm doing waves. I'm getting wave spells mixed up with moons. There are each moon is 28 days, right? And so 13 times 28 is 364, and then you have a day out of time, right? And so each of these moons they represent one of the tones, right? So the wave spells are associated with the archetypes, and the moons or the solar seals, right, which are when you get your signatures, the archetypes of the solar seals, that's what you'll see, the dragon, the skywalker, the seed, the wind, right? Those are the wave spells. The moons are based off of the tones. So now we're in the solar moon, which is the 9th moon, right? And that moon sets an intention, right? So the solar tone, like you, Orisha Stone, you are one of those solar tones. And the solar tones, it says it pulses and realizes, right? And so the way I like to explain when we get into the solar energy is that's an energy where you literally, how what moon is it? I'm talking about what moon cycle is it? It's the full moon. I forget all of these different things. It's the waxing and the new moon, and you got to make an intention or whatever.
Moon. The waxing is when it's coming to the full moon, and the waning is when it's moving from the full moon.
Right. Which one of those do you make the intention? It's on the new moon, right?
On the new moon.
Okay.
Yes.
So you have for the way this cosmology works, and that solar moon, right, which is not necessarily associated with the moon, right? But in this solar moon, you have 28 days to set that intention.
Okay.
Right? The whole moon is about, and when the word intend is moving towards, something. So you have a whole 28 days. This is what we tell, this is how we teach the young girls and the women to also monitor their cycles with these moons, because they have 28 days on a certain tone in which, like, so if your cycle shows up on the solar tone, then you have, you use that whole 28-day cycle to set an intention. If it's on the galactic tone, use that whole 28-day cycle to be in integrity, and so on and so forth. So yes, so that's where we are.
I say. And that's all symbolism too. They put that into the calendars. Usually you see the background where you have the different calendars and everything, and we see it and it's beautiful. But one thing, even the people that took it, they can't break it down. That's why they don't want you by that symbolism. Because somebody like yourself, somebody like OJ Yemi and the Melanated Immortals are actually tapping into these calendars and breaking it down. And then when we start putting the tones and synchronize those tones with the symbolism or stones, like, you can do some amazing things. We talk about the Olmec heads and don't tap into how do they move the Olmec heads. And really don't, you know what I'm saying? There's a lot that goes into that when we're talking about tones. When you're looking at Haiti and you're looking at that, when they talk about the Holy Mountain, that's a stone made out of iridium that's only found in two places. It's found in South Africa and Haiti. You see, those stones are activated through vibration.
And I'll tell you something too. That picture, those Olmec heads, yeah, they are they have a magnetic energy.
I see.
So they had that particular museum that we went to in Mexico, or that part of the museum, they didn't have much security, right? So they had a few Olmec heads. I have some more pictures where I was standing next to them. That one, the one that I was standing next to, that was a small one, right? I got to find the picture I have where there was a head that was taller than me. Now, I'm not that tall. I'm 5'2". So the one that you have on the picture, so that one was what? Maybe the same height? That was a small one. I have another one that was way bigger than me. And but when you touch them, I would say the frequency that I was getting, it was magnetic. So it was like I was being drawn to go to each head. And I had this thing, I just kind of walked around it, and then I touched the back of each of those heads that was in that in the museum. And then when we went outside, we saw that they had some outside. And so and when security around, they say this is a little sign, right? I was probably standing in front of the sign where it said don't touch the head, but whatever. It was like, y'all need to come over here and get with us. But the energy from it is very magnetic.
I was looking for the pictures now. I got to learn how to do these slides. I got to step my game up on the technology. But you sent me the pictures, and like you said, they try to explain away the locks in the back, and they also
in Mexico they didn't.
They don't.
It ain't. It's nothing there. Nothing there.
Okay, so like I said, I got to get out of there too, because I'd be so excited when they say breaking news. We just found some new artifacts, and I go watch it, and I got to kind of keep my ears closed and look with my own eyes, because when you listening to these well, let's just call it what it is. The colonizers, they go down there, say that these are their ancestors. They got this whole thing where they talking about white gods, and then they say about Quetzalcoatl. But when you look at it, they say Quetzalcoatl was white because they say he was the white bearded one, white beard. Right. Saying most Americans don't grow beards, and their beards don't. You know what I'm saying? So the white bearded ones is us. You know what I'm saying? So
the thing is when you look in the when you go down there and you look, I sent you the picture where it was like in this little it's not like a cave. It ain't nothing but black people in there. You saw it. It ain't nothing. It's not, and they didn't repaint it. It was nothing but copper colored and black people in there. Everywhere you look. And there was when we went to Chalcazingo, and I'm saying it the wrong way. the ones on the outside, I literally did see they had a girl out there scraping the stuff off, and I saw it on the ground.
I mean, at this point in time, we already know we already know what they're doing. They put the churches, they put golf courses on. I live in on Turkey Scratch. They got pyramids all throughout Turkey Scratch. They got pyramids all throughout Florida. We have an Olmec head down in South Florida. At one point in time, y'all had an Olmec head in Chicago, and we don't even talk about the indigenous peoples and great chiefs that come from Illinois. You see what I'm saying?
Mm,
Amy, she doesn't want to talk about it right now, but when she does, she got a real big surprise for y'all for something that she's acquired
mm,
from like this is a beautiful thing to acquire artifacts and things back. But Ojimi, I want you to take and like patch it in for us. What are we missing? Because she just said that you go to these Olmec heads and you can feel them you can feel the magnetic energy, right?
Well, to me, I personally think the Olmec head sank in the earth because they did not want to be found or seen. I
mm,
felt that they were so intuitive that they disappeared,
mm,
and that's why they have to dig them up. I know for sure there's this one statue. I can't think of it. It stands about 7 feet. This German, what would you call him? I don't think he was an anthropologist. He was a German scientist or whatever. I can't remember the name of the statue. They found the statue, but when they got ready to inscribe the statue, it sank into the earth. It disappeared.
mm. That makes sense.
So I think that right. I think the Mayans, the Olmecs were so smart that they didn't want them to have this wisdom, so they sank in the earth. That's why they have to dig them up.
Mm,
I do have an artifact, but I'm not ready to show it yet because I haven't meditated with it. It's on my altar, and I want to see what energy I want my altar to bliss it up first. Um, I think we've always known who we were. We've Everything came from us. So they really had nothing. They have no culture. They had nothing. It has always been ours. And I think when we recognize that it's ours, we ain't got to fight them. We ain't got to. Who cares what they do? This is ours. And the more we focus on it being ours, and I love when High Priestess talks about to embody. If I never get a chance to go to Guatemala, if I never get a chance to, can I embody that energy? Can I embody the frequency of an Olmec head? Can I embody the frequency of synchronicity? Can I embody this? And so when we become it, okay, for a perfect example, we know that when they wore the stones, those stones had everything to do with their melanin.
mm,
That's the part I don't think we truly understand. They didn't just wear crystals and stones and metals just to wear them. They wore them for a reason. Every crystal and every stone and every metal that they wore increased their melanin, increased the minerals that they needed in their bodies. So when we get crystals based on the property of maybe what they say, oh, well, this crystal does this and this crystal. But what about the minerals? What about the nutrients? Because they're minerals. They're coming up out of what? The earth. So wouldn't they carry zinc? Wouldn't they
mm,
carry iron? Wouldn't they carry sulfur? Wouldn't they carry selenium? So that's the part I think we're missing from the stones. We don't take the stones from the trace minerals that they carry. So to me, when I say that selenite carries selenium. So when the body needs selenium, I tell people, or they have what's called you got a monkey mind, get a piece of selenite and put it in your crown. Watch it calms that monkey mind down.
mm,
I
mm,
tell people when you have thoughts of scarcity and lack and limitation, get citrine. Keep
mm.
citrine. Keep the green stones. Keep stones that are about enhancing your abundance.
Okay.
Mhm.
Also, when a man is going through prostate problems, These stones are called Moki marbles. It's a female Moki marble and it's a male Moki marble. Put them in their pocket.
Mhm. Mhm.
There's a book it's called Rock of Ages by a brother named Roz Ben. Our moon
Mhm.
hangs out with Roz Ben.
Mhm. Mhm.
Roz Ben is an earth keeper. And he talks about crystals from the perspective of the mineral piece of it. What mineral does it provide?
Mhm. I say.
I say. I need to get them on. I need to get with them.
Yes,
Yeah,
definitely them.
yeah, yeah. You love
Also,
Brother Moon.
when we talk about magnetism, we look at magnetism as, to me, a magnet draws anything and everything. So you, as the magnet, you have to be careful of what you're emitting. What frequency are you giving out? Have you ever heard somebody say, "Well, I don't know why these people be coming to me"?
Mhm.
I just
Mhm.
laugh. Well, you are a transmitter, right? A magnet does attract. But if you don't know how to harness that frequency, if you don't know how to use that frequency in a vibration of, should I say, um, from the heart, or if you work from the lower part of your body, then you're going to draw the lower part of those frequencies that deal with the lower part of your bodies.
Mhm.
But I do want, you
Mhm.
talked about symbols. Nabi, do you know that there are people who can pull gold out the sky? Gold coins?
You were telling me.
There are people who can bring jewelry and gold up out their bodies.
I say.
That's how powerful we are.
I say.
So just imagine if we did that. We ain't
Uh,
just materialize gold coins,
oh, look at that.
jewelry.
That's right. That's right. Whatever you need is right there. I like
Yes.
what you were saying, OJ Yemi, too, about not necessarily even being concerned with what they saying we not, we are, we aren't.
Mm-hmm.
Because I like that statement. I can show you better than I could tell you.
So you bet I can tell
You
you.
know what I'm
Yes.
saying? Because what does it
Mm-hmm.
matter? Ooh, look at these. Look at these. Okay. Ooh, look at the stone on there. Okay. Because one of the, we're now in this age, this space where none of that really matters. We have gone
Oh, shame.
around this enough times. What difference
Mm-hmm.
does it make if someone non-melanated believes or ashes what, if we were in Egypt, if we was over here, or what? It doesn't make a difference, because what's going to
Oh,
happen is
shame.
you show up as the artifact. And like I said, the
Yes.
experiences that I had is like, they in Mexico, it was in Mexico where they had security. Other people could touch it. They didn't want me touching it. Why is that? Because they know. And
I,
so that's the only proof we need.
Yes.
It doesn't matter if anybody agrees or they don't agree. So what? We got to stop
Mm-hmm.
um making, we just talked about this the other night. you know, we got to stop making um what's secondary primary.
I see.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
What our purpose for incarnating, no matter where we came from. Like, yeah, like you said, there are many origins of those of us that show up in this melanated formation, but we did incarnate here on earth, right? And
Yes.
so however we show up is how we show up. We the artifacts, we're the altars, we're the deities. We show up as
Yes.
those deities. We show up as our ancestors, and we
Yes.
activate these let me tell you the experience. Did I tell y'all the experience I had when I went to the Serpent Mound in Ohio?
No.
Okay. So I go to the Serpent Mound in Ohio, um, and they have all kinds of signs that you can't pick up nothing from, you can't take a blade of grass, you can't do nothing on that mound. So of course the mound, the same kind of experience, the mound starts talking from the, from when I started driving up. And I'm going to say the first thing that happened, again, I don't know, this might be a rug pull, but anyway, that we're not here to worship these things.
I see.
Okay, that we're here to activate them and to evolve. It's like where our ancestors left
Yes.
off, then we pick it up. It's not everything is not here for somebody to worship and and because it's bigger than our physical form, then it's greater and it wants something. No, that thing started communicating with me from when I was driving. When I got there, what I was told was, I have a gift for you, right? And you have a gift for me. Began to call me mother, right? From the beginning. I walked through the whole thing, and it's not really that long to go through it. It curves around. It's literally a serpent because they have these, these lookout posts that you can go on, right? So as I'm the whole time, it's every sentence that I'm hearing starts with mother. Okay, so mother, I want you to do this and da 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 da. Mother, and I, pay attention to this, and this is what's gonna come. I'm in like trance walking through this thing. And so it said, leave me, give me a gift, I'm gonna give you a gift, right? So I always just use some of from my hair. So I just kind of pull out the bottom of a lock and I drop it on the grass. That was at the beginning. Once I walked all the way around on my way out, they said you can't take anything from it, but there was a feather sticking up at the end. And so the feather came from a bird that flew over, you know what I'm saying? So I took the feather, and the feather has a really interesting weight. It was like I got the feather of my eye when I walked out. And then when I was coming out, I was the only Black person again, right? And there was this group there, and they had these adults that were special needs. They were like severely mental, I don't know what to call it. You can't say the same thing we used to say when we was younger. But anyway, they had severe mental issues. One of them, and they, they had adult guardians or whatever managing them. And as I was walking out, one of them, they sit there and they hum or whatever, like you say, with these tones, right? And bring back around to these tones and these sounds. Mm-hmm. And so as I walk past this one, he looks at me, he's like, mama, 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 mama. And he starts coming towards me. And the people were all flushed and everything. I bust out laughing because he heard it too. Because I thought I was like, what, okay, this is an ego trip. Like I'm ego tripping that this thing is calling me mother as I'm walking through here. And so when I came out in the special needs adult, he said, mama, 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 mama. And, and they were like holding him back from going towards me. I was going out, he was coming in. And so that was like the confirmation. And so, as I can show you better than I can tell you. We just go with who you are when you are in these places. And these artifacts will start to interact with you whether they want them to or not. It's going to happen.
Gonna find you.
They're gonna find you.
We talk about magnetism. We talk about magnetism.
Are you not the red solar?
I'm sorry.
Are you not the red solar prophet? Are you not the red Skywalker? So be the prophet.
Yes, ma'am. And I agree with you too. What you said.
You got 28 days, prophet.
Yes, ma'am. I agree with you too. What you said because it's important.
28 days, prophet.
I'm always manifesting. I wake up. See the thing about it is when you live it, you ain't gotta try to act it and try to focus on it at the last minute. I live it the whole 28 days. You know what I'm saying? Wealth is our legacy. Wealth is our lineage.
Guess what, prophet? You don't manifest, you ripen.
I say.
We ripen. We don't manifest, prophet. We ripen.
I say.
When you
We
said
initiate, we refine, we transform, and we ripen.
yes, ma'am.
Also, when we talk about mounds and ley lines, well, we all know the mounds are where the indigenous ancestors are buried. So sure they're gonna build on top of those mounds because that's where the energy is. We talk about the ley lines. The ley lines is the crystals that are embedded in this earth. So they're gonna always build on top of mounds. So, but it's ours. It has always been ours. Whatever energy we're gonna get that. Look what's as when I first met HP, what did I call you?
Kentucky.
I said, I'm not trying to be funny, but I get the Queen Kentucky. Yes, Queen Mother. That doesn't have to be your age there. We caught up in how somebody has to be a certain age. Even with this divine feminine energy being restored to this planet, the divine masculine is a part of that. There's no separation. We just think in separation. But when we use 1320 and the Zulkin dream spell and the psychochronic meter calendar, there's no separation and division. It brings everything in synchronicity. We forgot about synchronicity.
Sure.
We forgot about that. Let's take the Olmecs and the Mayans. There was no words. But they knew each other. Why? Because they didn't, when the word came chaos. We were able to know what each other was thinking. We were telepathic. We were forgive me. We could see, we could hear, we could feel, we could taste, we could touch. So there was no need for words. We've allowed words to put a barrier between us. We have signs, they had the signs and the symbols. Look at the Dogon, they went out at night. The stars, the planets, talk to them. So they talk to us, but we're so dense or we so distracted by materialism. And when we it's nothing wrong with having currency. As Nab Tahaka says, your frequency is your currency. But everything is spiritual. Spiritual economics. The more spiritual we are, the more we have. Everything is a sign. Everything is a symbol. There is, in Benin, they're called Veves. You can use these Veves to do whatever that you want to do. We have symbols. We've always had symbols. We grew up in the South. We didn't have clocks, but we could tell what time it was by coming outside and looking at the sun, or we just automatically knew. It's innate in us. It's our birthright.
Yeah.
We have to return back. Remember, we're here to remember.
Yes,
That's right. What was you showing us? Over this song, you had something in your hand.
No, I was just not like tangibles, right? I always talk about tangibles. Okay, so talk about OJM. Can you mute your phone? I can hear someone in the background. Appreciate it, guys. Thank you. So when OJ Yemi, she was saying how they didn't want them to dig it up, but they dug it up. And then we talk about symbolism. And then we talk about the science of even creating these. You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
But likewise, I talk about indigenous futurism. We're not gonna be stuck in the past. We see it, it activates us, and it's our time to rebuild. Somebody was just asking, Is it true they found mounds in Kentucky? I'm pretty sure that it is. But the thing about it, let me see. Let me see if I can find it again. They were saying, is it true that they found mounds in Kentucky? I can't find the comment right now, but I say that to say there's mounds everywhere. There's mounds everywhere. We don't have to go to Mexico for it either. We saw Mexico, and a lot of antiquities and things of that nature are
The
coming back.
question was something about pyramids in Pikeville, Kentucky.
Yes,
The
ma'am.
question was about pyramids in Pikeville, Kentucky.
So right now,
There you go, right there, Pikeville, Kentucky, about pyramids being in Pikeville, Kentucky.
they're everywhere. So what does that mean? We can reconnect with our, like the guy that said, reconnect with our own lands. We don't have to go the way to Egypt. We don't have to go the way to Mexico. I can go to the largest mountain. The largest mountain in Florida is right here in our backyard, Turkey Scratch. You see what I'm saying? The Loveworth Mounds. That's what they call it. It's over 100 some odd mountains out here that they don't want to excavate, and we have them on camera saying this. Now, the funny thing about when you go to Mexico, they don't want you to dig in. When we were here, we got them on camera. They didn't want us to know about it, but when we found out about it, they knew it was game over. The first thing they tell us about is now this is what the words they chose to use, and we got it on camera. They were like, "Yeah, you're the custodian now. You got to make sure." You know what I'm saying? I said, so let me ask you a question. Why y'all ain't dig this up the way y'all dig everything else up? They say, no, well, we're not going to dig up here because one, this is, you know what I'm saying? This is the capital for a reason. Everything they found all sorts of different artifacts and antiquities, and they found ancient black women right here in the caves in Florida, right here in Tallahassee. The first thing they do is 2 or 3 seconds, and then they cover it up. The schools are the most evil things because they're pushing a lot of did you hear what I said? The colleges are the most evil things because they got their own agenda. We already know about that whole boule thing. It's a tier system through the sororities and fraternities, and it works its way all the way up. So
I say, absolutely.
Yeah, a lot of people sleep in certain things, but once you start looking it up, the time frame of each one of our mounds in Kentucky, in Memphis, in Louisiana, in Mississippi, in Chicago, in Florida, in Georgia, all these different places are the same time frame that they were doing in the Olmec. I'm not just saying it. I'm gonna go in a couple of days. I'm gonna go on the 17th on All Serpents Day. Go to these mounds, especially in Ohio, and see if you can leave some eggs. If you can't leave no eggs, take some milk. You know what I'm saying? All Serpents Day. This is when we talk about the old days, and we talk about the first thing everybody want to say is, oh, this is the old. Well, the old says this is the land of the plumed serpent.
Right.
The great father is Quetzalcoatl, and the great mother is the one who wears the serpent skirt, and they fear that. They fear her. You know what I'm saying? This is like a Bible for me right here, the return of the serpent's wisdom. And I think a lot of us up when it comes into it, because all throughout here they're talking about how the Olmec are the serpent clan and the serpent people. Now, I'm not saying that we know everything. What I'm saying is the more each one teach one, the more of us tap into it. And when they dig it up, I'm like I said, I'm not infatuated with it, but I do study it. I do want to see it. I need to see it with my third eye and then hear what they're gonna say. They're gonna cover it up, whatever they're gonna cover up. But once you start seeing it, and it becomes more and more the symbolism becomes more and more. Now we have a structure, a foundation saying everything that OJ Yemi is saying is actually absolutely true. We didn't have to do too much talking. Everything was sound, everything was frequency. Everything, you know what I'm saying? Everything was action. Now, what does that mean? In today's time, that means today's time when we're watching the Melanated Immortals, and you're telling us that we have 28 days of some kind of deed and actions, or we need to sit down and meditate on this day. On this day, we need to be really what's the word for it? Intentional to show love to the person that each one of these days it helps strengthen our relationship. Would you call it the action?
The 52 acts of unity. The 52 acts of unity, right? So that because that oneness, right? We heard OJ Yemi talking about that we've forgotten that we're supposed to be in union with each other, not always in combat, at war, in conflict or deficit. See, that deficit thing, that's the one. That's because that's a subliminal thing, right? When you feel deficient, you always feel you got something to prove. right? You don't have that. If you really roll that back, why do you want to prove to somebody that what you already know? Because you have been made to feel deficient. When you're no longer deficient, you just show up as you are.
Yes.
And you just
Yes.
you just give way to the things that are in divine alignment. And so it's
Yes.
nothing that, and like I said, the secondary stuff doesn't become primary anymore. A secondary thing can't decide for the primary what it's going to do or what it's going to be if we, if we don't allow it.
Okay.
So we don't need to be in deficit when I love what you're doing is when you're telling people to go and get these artifacts. And we start cultivating these artifacts, especially over here. Because I said this before, that when you go to the continent, there is a deity for each. Like when I went to Kemet, right? So there's a certain area that's for Tahuti. There's another area that's Aset. There's another area that's Set has an area. You know what I'm saying? There's another area for Haru. There's another area for Asar. The different localities, right? Same thing happens in when you go to West Africa. You go to Nigeria. You got Ile, Oshun, Ile, Ifa. Everybody has their
Ile
own.
Ife,
Yep,
Oshogbo,
all of them. Yep,
Oya.
we
Yeah.
have the
Because each one of
same.
those deities, yes.
I say we have the same thing over here,
I see.
and
Yes.
I. This is just my perspective that we're leaving those things untapped
And can
Yes.
because the strength that we have, the strength when we look at what happens over there, like you'll see those ceremonies where they'll literally have a what's that, the masquerade. It's dancing, it ain't nothing in that
Egungun
thing.
masquerade, the
Yeah.
masquerade.
Ain't nothing in
Egungun.
there.
Ain't
the
nothing
Huh?
in that masquerade, baby. Nothing
Come
but
on,
spirit.
come on.
Nothing but spirit. That
So
masquerade is so powerful. Hmm. But
I
I
say,
don't get me started about that.
I
That's my
say, I
stomping
say,
ground there,
but
baby.
but
going back to I want to tag team with that because you said
okay,
you've
go
been
ahead.
to temples. I'm sorry to cut your wisdom, but
No
I don't
problem.
this. You've been inside these temples, right? And especially the Mayan temples. And you said you saw, and we keep talking about this, how we don't see the representation in the Olmec society of black women. They already don't want to show the black men locks and everything else. But it's like I said, I'm gonna get my slides right. But you can't deny it when you see black women Olmec statues. Now,
No,
also when we talk about the West African thing, we also got to realize this is older than the West African thing. Those places weren't even called those places, you know what I'm saying, 3000 BC. So when we say Osho and everything else, that are past me downs that if when you said Tahuti, they have a temple of Tahuti. Tahuti came from, they literally tell you in the Emerald Tablets, Tahuti's not from Africa. He came to
mm-hmm,
Africa from the West.
mm-hmm, 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 mm-hmm.
And they
And
go get
so
that. Go ahead.
and so here's the
Okay,
thing.
who wrote? Okay, Nabi. Right. Go
Oh,
Yes, ma'am.
ahead.
okay. So here's the thing. This is the point, that we have those points activated on the continent. We need to activate this over here, right? So that
Yes.
that circle, that orb of source on earth will be complete. And I think part of what you're doing with telling people to start collecting these artifacts, especially the ones that are from here, right, begins to start getting people activated. We need to know the indigenous names of where we come from, right? Like, I'm from Chicago, like OJ Yemi. I've been in the Washington D.C. area though most of my adult life, but I was born and raised in Chicago, and so if you look at the what was the name, whose locale is that, as far as these deities and the ancestors that were from over there. I'll tell you this, this
Yes.
came on real strong when, remember that movie? I never watched any of the Mummy movies. I think it was the third one. I didn't even watch the first two, but that
Me
third
either.
one, okay,
Me
the
either.
third one, that was the one where they had the Asian so-called mummies. And what she did is she went back to a place where they were slaughtered and she raised them all up. And it showed the power of using the energy that's already present. We have energy right here, right now,
Yes.
wherever we are,
Yes.
that I
Yes.
feel is untapped because we haven't
Yes.
used these vibrations that are local to us,
Actually,
right? And
Yes.
so part, getting these uh what do you call them, the I got
Artifacts.
archetypes. Yeah, I got archetypes, artifacts. So in my head it was the artifacts that are from here. That does it. Or even if you don't even know, just go outside wherever you are and just
Yes.
ask the wind, ask the air, the water,
Yes. The
whatever,
air, the earth,
whatever it
the
is.
water, the fire,
Okay,
the ether.
who's over here?
Yes.
that's
And
it.
how can I embody that energy through me for the collective good of this whole place? You'll get your answer.
Ashe.
I love antiquities.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, I
And
got
that's one of the reasons why this Olmec Mayan cosmology, when I saw the galactic signature, it it's like it opened me up to see. It showed me something that I've been initiated in all kind of things. But it took some words on a piece of paper to really reveal to me my purpose, what I
Mm,
really come to do. And not only that, it it takes away that war, it takes away that conflict, it takes away that deficit. It shows you, oh, okay, and if I have 260 plasmas, 260 days to express the creator. Not I don't have to that 1260. The 1260, the 12-month calendar, and that 60 hour, that hour. So I don't have to worry about taxes. I don't have to look at that calendar because it's about buying something, getting something. That whole Gregorian calendar is about commerce and taxes. Where I look at a cyclochronic meteor calendar, it's spiritual. It's about me evolving. It's about me lifting up. It's about me coming into my true divine self. That's what I'm looking for. I'm looking for something that's going to help me evolve. So that's why this cosmology, just think how long that every day someone would come out and turn that wheel. Now, the small wheel is the 13 tones.
mhm,
The big wheel is the one that shows the archetypes. So someone would come out every day to turn this so that they could be in synchronicity and harmony with creation. The red, the white, the blue, the yellow had to do with their corn. So the whole all this cosmology, all this
mhm,
symbology is showing us that this is who we are. If we internalize this, if we eat, okay, I know you saw on the glyphs where they have on the papyrus where they're showing the ankh being eaten. They're actually putting the ankh to each other's
absolutely,
mouth. So what are they
absolutely,
saying? They're saying that if you embody this, if you
right. So,
internalize this, and we talk about Tahuti, but do we talk about Seshet who gave Tahuti the wisdom?
come on now.
No, we don't talk about that piece. But we all know all wisdom comes through the mother.
Oh, Well, that's who you see giving the
And
off.
if you, I got the piece of papyrus. Thank you. When you see, when I got the papyrus, because when I went to Nevada, we went to a store that had the papyrus. And it shows Seshet standing behind Tahuti. She giving
Mm-hmm.
him the wisdom and he writing it down. So it has always come from us. We've always stood giving the wisdom out because we are the promoter force, the birth, the nurturer.
I
We bring
say.
into life. But
Mm-hmm.
in that, I go back to when you know who you are, you don't who it doesn't matter. You got to know. And I can only tell people just when you get this galactic signature, when you follow this or whatever cosmology, I don't care what it is. Find something that fuels your fire. Find something that lifts you up, and that's so we can evolve as a race of beings.
I say. I
Because if
say.
I evolve and y'all don't evolve, well, what happens?
Mhm.
When Mayat heals, when High Priestess Mayat heals, when Nabi, a red solar prophet heals, we all heal. The 13 tones. Do you know they have what it's called? Solfeggio? The 13 tuning forks are based after those 13 tones.
Mhm. Oh, come on now. Come on
So
now.
they took out, so okay, those singing bowls, those are hertz based off the tones.
I say.
That's why they bring forth a healing. Now,
Mhm.
people use the crystal bowls. I'm more for the metal bowls because those are hammered, man-made. And the monks, while they're making those bowls, because if you get a true authentic bowl, those bowls are handmade, hand hammered, and they're chanting while they're making those bowls.
I say.
Mm.
Mhm.
Symbolism.
Symbolism. Hands down.
So we carry that Ashe. We carry that power. It's in our DNA. Only thing we just got to go in and just be still and allow it to unfold. It is the unfolding of the soul. We got it. It's our birthright. But we've
Okay.
been told something different. So we have to break that deficit. We have to break all of that and see the signs and see the symbols. Every day that you look in the mirror, you see something great.
I say.
Every day you look in the mirror, you see sacred and divinity. We come from source, so we are source. Who
That's
creates?
right.
You create. Ain't nobody doing nothing to you. You creating everything. Every time something happens to us, it's because we created.
That's
You're the
right.
star, we're the supporting cast. But it's our creations.
I say.
The archetypes. Look, they're solar seals, but they also carry an expression. So when we embody it, when you embody the red prophet, the prophet is space, explores, and wakefulness. So now you're always out and about. You're always exploring. You're always waking people up. So you see, you're embodying the prophet, and you're
Mhm.
the solar prophet. So you got your intention.
Mm.
You're realizing.
I see.
I say.
Real quick,
And
somebody
who
had,
cares what everybody else think?
the brother had a great question. To the sisters, how do we get our galactic signature?
All right. If you looking for if you're looking for a reading, you can go to our website, melanatedimmortals.com. But if you want to find it online, you can go to lawartime.org, and I think right up in the corner it has galactic signature. We're working on our own app. We're working on it. We're gonna get there. We getting it. Well, we'll be able to do that, and then you just put in your date of birth and you'll get it. Yep.
I see. I see. But forget the app. Go talk to the goddess herself. You can call up OJ, call up the high priestess and get some experience. Forget that app. Then you know what I'm saying? I see a lot of people they go online and they let the AI tell them what their horoscope gonna be today. I think we all the way confused nowadays. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah, you're not gonna get it the same way. You're not gonna get it, that same way. I was
No.
just, just if people want to just know in general what it is, you can go find it online. But then if you want to come back and really have it explained in multiple dimensions, we can definitely do that for you.
Because we are AI.
Come on now.
We are AI, absolute ancestral intelligence. It doesn't get any better than us.
I say.
Because technology destroyed every civilization when they brought in technology. Now, I'm not saying that you can't use it, but you use it as a way to assist, not allow it to tell you what to do or who you are. You use it as support.
I say. Well, I think, if we have to, I always say this, we got to make a decision about who we are. We have to change our minds about who we
Yes.
are. And one of the things I heard, OJ Yemi was just talking about it, is really understanding and accepting that you are source in this formation. And that's our species. Because if you talk about, okay, so, yeah, they laugh at me and mimic because I've always talked about trees, right? But if you look at trees, right, trees always do the things that trees do. And then under the ground, they got a network, right? Everything else out there knows exactly what species they are, and their primary function is always their primary function. What is the primary function of a human? I'll wait. You know what I'm saying? I'm not asking y'all. I'm just saying in general. It's a good question, right? It's just like,
Yes, it is something
yeah,
to ponder and think on.
but if you say you are the creator in this formation, or you are source in this formation, divine entity in this formation, and then you say, what is the primary function of source on earth? Right? Now you got all kinds of ideas. Oh, well, shoot, we create stuff, right? We run stuff. You know what I'm saying? We are connected with the earth itself and the cosmos and the book. You see what I'm saying? So it's a whole bunch of things. But if you just say you're a human, what's the primary function of a human?
well, I know
You know that emoji that's like this with the person.
real
That's
quick.
that's it.
Going back to the antiquities and stones, because I love that. You got to tell me right now, what's going on with this neck piece? I need to know the artist. I want to challenge somebody right now. What's going on in this neck piece?
This is Brother Amun, Temple of Soul.
And what stone?
So, y'all gonna give me, okay, wait a minute. This one, of course, we know this is lapis lazuli, and this one is I forget this stone, and it's a what is this one called? And they told me, and I said I was gonna remember it, and I don't remember it.
No, they
made this one based off of my archetype.
I say.
That's yes. And I found out. I forget what it's called.
He's from Philly. Tapping with him. He's from Philly. Guys, I've been trying to reach you too.
Yeah, he's from Philly.
The corn deity is in the building.
Hey. Yeah, he know everybody. So yeah, he's from Philly.
So, before we get out of here, because I said hour 23, and the Bickies wanted to show off her coin. Let me ask, if we were going to just for tonight, 5 stones from each of you that you think OGM said selenite. Can each one of you give us 5 stones that we should be tapping into? And I mean, if we say we Olmec, we understand that the 3 main tribes: the Jaguar clan, the Bird clan, and the Stone clan. The Stone clan is represented by the serpent people and everything else. That's why you keep, but and I keep going back to that, how you see the grandmothers on the walls in the Mayan temples and they try to hide them, but they, and going back to the Smithsonian, they burnt them down and everything else because they didn't want to see that it's a matriarch society. They believe in yoga. They believe in bells. The bell represents the woman. The bell represents wisdom. Where even in the ancient Naga, the bell is the wisdom, whereas the Vajra is the masculine, or the lightning stroke is the masculine energy. So just studying the yoga, the flute, they're really big into the flute energy. And that we were talking about tones. I'm telling you, the flute is powerful, and that's when you start tapping into that whole Coco Palais energy, which is also a jealousy with locks that they're trying to explain that away too. But we'll say that for another time. But if we were going to talk about 5 stones, what stones would you give us for this this, would you say, wave spell?
Ooh, see, man, stones for the wave spell. This is well, we're about to close out this wave spell because this is we're in the storm wave spell, and then now we're about to go into the yellow human. Now I'm not as educated in stones, but this is what when you said 3 stones, just without even thinking about the wave spell or anything, I would say an obsidian, a black stone, right? If I'm saying that right.
Yeah.
And that is for anyone. And this is general. This is not about the wave spell. This is just in general. I always like that stone because that is a great stone for when you feel that there is, you're absorbing too much of other people's energy, people, places, and things. And I would say use it as a reminder. I'm not because, if I don't have my stone and, I'm going to get too much, of somebody else's energy, but just to have it, to have a reminder that you made a decision about your own energy. Right. But that one, I would say definitely carry that one. For women in general, the orange stones, what is that? The carnelian, and what is the other? Amber. That those are great for the womb, period. Right. And I know y'all probably already talked about these, all those stones. Hey, nice to see you. Yes. All those stones
Hey,
are all those stones are the Amazon. Any of these stones, you don't make something that you're using as a connector or a tool or whatever greater than the primary. You're always primary. And so that's why I say you use it as a reminder of that this is for your womb. So you have these orange stones, right? This is to help accentuate, it amplifies, but it's not a replacement for, because you're the primary, right? And then the third one is what is the yellow one? I don't know why I can't remember that yellow one.
Not citrine.
Nope.
Not a sunstone.
Nope. It's not citrine. It's
Calcite, yellow calcite.
Nope.
Because calcite is yellow.
Nope. It's like a gold. It's golden. You know what I'm talking about?
Golden Hiller. It's a stone called Golden Hiller.
It's not. It's very common. I used to have a ring. I used to have but that one, because that's the power. It's gold.
Not fluorite. Okay.
What's that one?
Libyan desert glass.
Okay.
It's
a little more yellow than that. It's a little more yellow. I mean, a gold. It has more of an orange type tone to it. What is it?
Rutilated quartz.
I I think it'll come. It'll come. But I just had three. Those are the three that I thought about immediately when he asked about the stones. I don't have five. I have three. That's a C plus, right? I get C plus.
Yeah, I say.
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
And then we're talking about obsidian. We got this piece of obsidian.
Look at that.
Okay.
I say.
Mm-hmm.
These are different commodity stones and rubies in general. All of this is just it's wealth in advance. And I love you goddesses and appreciate the information and the knowledge that y'all be dropping. And Naveed was telling me that he wanted me to go in here and talk about my Mahakala coin, which is a black protector deity.
Wow.
And then he has the coins. He has his crown. On top, it sits the 5 transformation of unhealthy desires. Desire, ignorance, jealousy, and pride. And it transforms into wisdom. And usually you'll see this deity sitting on top of either a human or elephant, and it represents death of ego. So when you see all the skulls and everything surrounded by it, even though it looks fearsome because it's scary to who it's supposed to scare, but it's actually a powerful protection deity that'll dispel negativity from your home and your wealth. So, and it was funny because the reason why I was drawn to this deity was because I saw this in my dreams before I actually knew what it was. And that's when you know it's real. It's a couple come to me in my dreams before I even realized, oh, this is something ancient. It's not just me. So yeah, this is my Mahakala coin.
Okay. Wait a minute. You wizard, right? Wizard.
Yeah, white crystal wizard.
That's right. Oh yeah, like my son, Kim 194.
Crystal people, crystal, dedicate, universalizing, and cooperation.
I say, I am here to assist. The Virgo in me is just trying to get us to a higher place and a higher realm. So that's what I'm for.
I say.
But you do have a kin number, right? What's your kin number?
194.
Yep.
So you're kin 194. The kin 194 in you.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, when she kept saying she would dream about it before she saw it.
Right.
And then I was like, that's right. She's a wizard.
Yeah.
White crystal wizard.
A 4-headed deity.
Kin 194.
This is when
around here we call each other kins, star kins, kinfolk.
I say
we use our kin numbers.
Yes, I love it. And even then, reading y'all were so correct when it comes to the Olmec calendar and the layers of knowledge just about self. And it really get you when they tell y'all this is the Olmec calendar is just the surface. Your kin number is just the fingernail. That's the nail on your finger.
I say
everything else. You got to get to the organs. They get down to the organs. They get down to the veins and the nervous systems. It's a beautiful thing. So thank y'all for sharing.
Thank you for sharing that. Were you saying something about another one?
Thank you for sharing.
Coin or stone?
Yeah. I don't know. I thought you had another one that you were sharing. Okay, never mind. I wanted to make sure we didn't cut it. Oh, wow. What's this one?
So this is my peacock coin. This is the most beautiful one most detailed and most beautiful. Well, it's not coming out of the case right now, but detailed and beautiful one I've been able to find. That's one of my spirit animals. Because I'm a phoenix rooster, which is a phoenix in its dormant stage, and the peacock has always just come to me. So
I'll say. That's beautiful.
Thank you. Well, thanks for sharing space. I'm gonna give the floor back to Navi.
I say.
Thank you, Ken 194.
And look at her with her jaguar jacket on, which is the wizard. Okay. The wizard is the jaguar, and she got her little jaguar jacket on. Look at you.
Timelessness, enchants, receptivity.
Say,
Oh, yeah, I won. Anyway, uh, so OJ Yemi, what's your top 5 stones?
Prophecy stone.
I see.
The prophecy stone. Agni magnetite.
Ooh,
Cinnamite. Moldavite.
I see.
There's a stone. Oh, that is only. Oh, it comes from this cave, and the monks chant the stones down. And when they chant the stones down, the stones fall. I can't think of the name of the stones, but
Ooh.
there's also another crystal called Orange River. This Orange River is only mined by Sisterin in Africa.
Mm.
And the cobalite. The cobalite is the crystal that carries melanin, copper, iron, and sulfur.
Mm.
I gave you some cobalite, right?
Yes, man. It's right here.
Yeah, cobalite.
Mm.
In one place.
I like that song you
Those are
talking
my
about.
5.
Only mined by women in Africa. That's dope right there.
Right, it's called Orange River. So I'm gonna look for some Orange River and send you the Orange River.
All right, nice. Thank you.
That's cobalite.
Okay.
That's the melanin crystal.
Mm.
There's
Okay.
copper, iron, and sulfur in it.
I see. That's your 5?
That's my 5.
I see. So we gotta look into it. When y'all giving a lot of weight, all we gotta do is do the research on it. You gave me this, and I realized it was kind of rare, so I just put it up on there, because I felt the energy from it.
Very rare.
Sitting by the bed, and I was like, "No, that's gonna be real dope." Beside my jade, my top 5 would be. I'm going. Right now, we're going to the spring season. I like the guy that said I don't go by their calendar. I go through the seasons, and we're going through the season of spring and growth and brand new stuff. So it's like I'm really feeling Jade right now. Jade, big shout out to the brother Nine Wave in New York. He has a amazing when he's getting his stuff directly from Mexico. So he has a amazing Jade collection. We've been collaborating a couple times. Always messing with turquoise. Turquoise is how you communicate back and forth with the ancestors and the spirit guides. Let me see. You stole one from me. You said motivite because a lot of people don't really understand what motivite is. But when you study the Popol Vuh, when you study the Popol Vuh, turquoise was a normal stone for priests and priestesses and stuff of that nature. So when they say Quetzalcoatl had a special stone that could control the wind, I'm led to believe that he had a piece of moldavite. You know what I'm saying? Because back then stones was currency and they trade. So the more rare the stone, and even though the stone's from another side of he was also a traveler. So I do believe he had a piece of moldavite. That's how he could communicate and also travel interdimensional when he was going back and forth to the spirit realm to collect the green stone bones. So yeah, turquoise. I'm loving tourmaline. I'm in the season of tourmaline right now. Green tourmaline and red tourmaline are my favorites right now. What's up? And rubies. I'm loving rubies.
Rubies. Okay.
It's ruby season. All those stones will be great for you in this time and in this energy shift. Those company stones responded. Do you have some of them for sale? Oh yeah, most definitely. You know yeah, guys, you already know. Speaking of which, these are some pieces that you inspired me to make. I wanted to start sending some stuff. If you go to Melanated Immortals, y'all gonna start seeing some amazing pieces.
I'm excited. Ooh.
The corn goddess on there because this is the corn piece. I don't know if you can see that.
That is gorgeous.
Yeah, Crimson-Cola.
Wow.
The corn piece. Oh, Crimson-Cola, jade, pink calcite, pre-night, turquoise.
That is gorgeous.
Start like once that's what the ancestors did. You don't never see any kind of statue when they didn't have jade on. So this is
Look
jade
at that.
and peridot. That's another one I would say. And this,
Beautiful.
but it's also a abundance piece. Do something a little different, so you ain't got to worry about nobody else with it on. Of course, you already know I got the big Omeg piece, but we still got some other Omeg pieces. And this is serpentine, pre-night, jade, and the eyes are emeralds. I don't know if you good.
Oh, okay. I see. Wow. Nice.
Yes, you can see it.
The obsidian Omeg piece.
Ooh, look at that.
That's,
Beautiful.
That's gorgeous.
Mm-hmm.
so thank you for that. Let me see.
Oh, gorgeous.
No,
See,
but I sent you some Super 7, didn't I not? Or did I send you
the Super 7's right here too.
okay.
And it's funny you sent it to me because it's the Aries Super 7 is kind of good for us too. So you sent me this one. Yeah, all CNI, ain't it?
Look at that.
And I appreciate that, guys. Scotty, you don't never show all the toys you be having. You ain't showed your wand. Yeah, you ain't showed your.
No. No.
She got a baby gallery, art gallery by herself. Like when the tribe has like, I'm not even worried about it. It's
I got a wand that's just awesome. I got a wand from you. I got 3 pieces from you and a wand. Nobody's business. Nobody's business.
I think the same.
Okay.
I'll say. And like I say, what got us me out when you get your piece, I'm gonna try to send a lot of energy your way because those are more people that are intentional and would appreciate the piece because that's what it is all. Everything's based on your intentions. Can you put some of the stones? Yep. Trying to get everybody out of here. Shout out to Chief BlackRock, man. If you need any help with your AI effects, holler at Chief BlackRock or visual. Chief Black.
But I do want to thank Chief BlackRock for my artifact piece. So thank you, Chief BlackRock.
I'll see. It's real now. Let me see. Boom. We're about to get out of here. Goddess Mia, do you have anything coming up anytime soon?
On Wednesday evening, we have it's a new wave spell coming in, so we do have a chant call. And then on Friday, always on Fridays, 7:30 a.m., we do aligning with the cycles. And then Sunday, 6 p.m., we do the melanin frequency. And wait a minute, let me go back to, we have our last session of the Young Melanated Immortals. That is on Friday at 7 p.m. And then we do have an event. We do events every solstice and every equinox. So we do have an event coming up for the spring equinox. We do a spring ritual, but it's also our open house. We call it our priesthood open house. If you go to our website, go to our events page, you'll find out information about that and how you can join in. It is for, it's that, and I like what you said. I think we're going to incorporate what you were talking about, Orisha Stone, in our ritual, but we always do a sutra. Sutra is a group of rituals that come together, and they are it's amplified, right? And so people always love those events. So definitely, if you're interested, finding out what we do in the priesthood, also just having the spring energy, being able to bring in that spring energy with a group of like-minded people, definitely come check out our website, melaninimmortals.com, and then go to our events page and you'll see it on there.
I'll say. OJ Yemi, do you have anything coming up in or anything we can do to support?
Well, I need to talk about this ancestral piece.
Yes, ma'am.
There's in the ancestral piece, there's a lot of, should I say, people leaving this planet. And nothing is being done when the people leave the planet. When your ancestor makes their transition, there's something that needs to be done. especially when the ancestor did not live a virtuous and a righteous life. Work needs to be done. And that work is setting up forgiveness prayers and help evolving those souls. Because you see, we call the names, but if you don't call those names of those souls that are unrest, trust me, somebody else are calling those names and they're using those souls. So we have to evolve our ancestors. And here's a saying that you could say, because when someone in your family makes transition, they are so powerful that they could come back and get somebody else. So this is the saying that we use in the Egungun community. When the roll calls for blood, let no one, myself or in my family, be available.
I'm saying.
When the roll calls for blood, let no one be available, me or in my bloodline, because trust me, the road is going to call for blood. It just does. So we have to protect ourselves, not from a fearful factor, but from a factor of evolving our ancestors. They especially feeding them, giving them food, giving them drink, talking to them, calling their names, honoring them, because we are them and they are us. If an ancestor, and if you have an opportunity to assist the ancestor to make their transition, they should not make their transition from their lower chakras. They should make transition from their heart, from their throat, from their first eye, or from their crown.
I'm sure.
We were so powerful that we didn't need words. I go back to this. When we created words, we created chaos. When you think of someone and they call you or they respond, that's telepathy. We just don't even think about that. Oh, I was thinking about you. Well, you see frequency and vibration. That's who we are. We are vibrational frequency, rhythmatic, galactic, cosmic, planetary beings. Do something with that Ashe. Do something with that energy. Keep the sacred space for each other. And you don't, when you pray for somebody, you don't know what to pray, but just send love. That is the most unconditional thing that we could do. Do you know that every race of beings brings something to this planet? You know what ours is? Unconditional love. That's what we bring to this planet. We are the most lovingest people on this planet, and we bring unconditional love. I just ask, take care of your ancestors. If you take care of them, they'll take care of you.
Yeah, I see.
I say.
Coming up, like I said, if you're not gonna be a Nagaloka, most definitely tap in with the High Priestess Mayat. Also, all Serpents Day is on the 17th. Like I say, tap into the spiritual lands. She just said it, we're not utilizing the energies of the plume serpent and the wisdoms of the plume serpent. We passed the days of chopping up turkeys and chickens and goats and all that other stuff. We're in the age of evolution and Consequado, like whether we want to acknowledge it or not, everybody want to be Olmec till it's time to do Olmec things. You got to tap into the energies of the grandmother serpents and the grandfather serpents. And their whole thing was, we need to garden, we need to plant, we need to look at the stars, we need to dance, we need to do yoga, we need to have all these actions. You know what I'm saying? That say it again for me. Goddess Mayat, the actions.
Oh, I was like, what? The 52 acts of unity. Yeah.
Yeah, I just love the way it sounds and tapping into that. So yeah, man. Also, like I say, tap into that All Serpents Day. Not your enemy, about everything. These are our ancestors. You know what I'm saying? So, what's your cash out, Goddess? Before we get out of here.
Oh, you talk. I'm in Cash App jail. So yeah, they put me in jail.
Well, tap into Melanated Immortals, especially on what's that, Friday? Friday Rising. I love tapping. It's a real positive message. And it's just a beautiful vibe. Also, like I said, if you want to get your galactic signature, tap in with OJ Yemi, tap in with Goddess Priestess Mayat. Stop always want to pay the white man for their apps and everything else, and put that into the community. Each one, you know what I'm saying? Each one teach one, and each one support one. You know what I'm saying? Yes, go out there and find these artifacts and bring them back. Learn the artifacts. Don't just get it for the money. Get it because you're getting little walkie-talkies to the other side. You know what I'm saying? We're communicating with the ancestors. We're getting back our stuff that we say they stole everything. Well, it's our job to get it back, ain't it? You know what I'm saying? So, peace to the gods, peace to the clans. I appreciate you so much, Goddess. And OJ Yemi, I appreciate you too as well.
Wholeness.
We appreciate you as well.
Enjoy our creations.
All right. What's up?
I say.
What is remembered is never truly gone.
The stone remembers the voices of those who came before.
And through time, their wisdom continues to speak.
Across homes, across distances, the circle reforms. Not entertainment, not noise, but remembrance. This is Orisha Stone, where memory becomes voice and the elders are never silent.